Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and this is the Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts Sephiroth figure. This product line is overpriced, it's sometimes inconsistent, but it makes a great Smash Brothers display, and that's why I bought it. Now this mostly goes for the original Final Fantasy VII concept art, not what you would see in like Final Fantasy VII Remake or anything. And I specifically said Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts Sephiroth because there is a set of Cloud and Sephiroth based off Kingdom Hearts, and I want those, and now they're expensive because my fiance said, no, you can't buy those, you have way too many figures. I will forever hold that grudge, but that's okay. Now, originally, I was gonna do a full review after I played with it and all that stuff, but I didn't have time, so we're just gonna unbox it and play with it right here and hope for the best. Plus, we're gonna compare this to some other figures, like the Bring Arts Cloud, as well as a couple other characters that you might see in Smash Brothers. But let's take a look at the box. So you got a good look of Cloud right here. I really hope he looks like this, because again, the product line could be inconsistent. Got a nice glossy finish to this, and everything else is matte. And then you got very minimal Final Fantasy VII Sephiroth Bring Arts. And then in the back, you got some really cool art right here. A lot of Japanese stuff I can't read besides Square Enix and Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts. And then more of the same over here. And this is a thick box, by the way. I don't remember the Cloud box being this thick, but I think they had to like put his sword in a separate layer because it's awfully big. But without further ado, let's open them up. I love the product line for the Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts figures because they do such a good job of bringing the concept arts of Final Fantasy VII to life in these action figures. Unfortunately, they're all very expensive, and I don't have the space for all that, and to be quite honest, I'm not like a huge fan of the original Final Fantasy VII. I respect it, but I've never beaten the game myself. I'm only playing the remake stuff, and I prefer that for the most part. But I don't know, I feel like I'm fairly basic when it comes to my RPG stuff. I don't typically play RPGs all that much. But let's take a look. Oh, I didn't mean to pull out the cardboard part. Whoops. But hey, the black looks kind of nice. But so does he. Oh my, look at this. He looks gorgeous. Okay, so the thing that made the box so thick was the hair. That makes sense. I'll give him that. But I'm actually really impressed they managed to fit this all like within one layer. That's actually really impressive. The second layer is just the stand stuff. So we're just gonna put this back in here. Shout out to my friend Tristan. He really wants me to bring this like to his party so he could check this out, because this thing's actually pretty gorgeous. I actually really like this thing. So we're gonna put the stand over here for now, I guess. But let's open this up. I'm just gonna put this stuff down here so it's like out of the way. But of course, Sephiroth is gonna be covered in all this plastic bits. Sometimes they put them in between the joints, like they definitely did here. Is there a slit in here somewhere that I can just rip this out of, or is it like just around them forever? I guess I gotta take off each joint to like get the bits off. Part of me respects them for doing this because, you know, to avoid paint transfer. But like sometimes other companies like put little slits in there so you can just easily slide it out. But we don't get that here. And I hate disassembling the figures because then I have a hard time getting the ball socket back in there. Okay, so after struggling to get torso back on, here he is. I'm just gonna get rid of all these plastic bits. I'm not keeping any of this. This is all trash to me. Okay, let's move this stuff out of the way and let's get a closer look at him. He really is gorgeous, isn't he? I thought you'd be able to like pose his hair. It doesn't look like you can. Yeah, I'm looking at the box. No, it's pretty much stuck in that pose. And for being a highly articulated figure, you'd think this would be posable, but no, it's not. And I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a little disappointing. And thankfully, these are all jointed separately, so it shouldn't get too much in the way for posing him. But these elbow joints are so big and bulky and kind of gross looking, I'm not gonna lie. A little bit of ab crunch, but a little nervous to use it since I made it pop off easy, but it's actually staying together pretty well. And look at that leg movement too. Like he's got some movement. And then his cloak, never mind, his leg fell off. But his cloak is also on ball hinges, but like you gotta be careful because like they're like looking like they're cheaply made and could fall apart easy. Because me even trying to like move this around, you can see it stressing and trying to come apart. With that said, I'm not a huge fan of Bring Arts, to be quite honest. I'm not really a huge fan of square figures to begin with. But I can't lie, that face paint is absolutely gorgeous though. Like, it's hard to stay mad at someone who's beautiful. That's pretty toxic, I don't like that. But Sephiroth is not a boxer. He's a swordsman. So let's look at Mifune right here. Wow. I like this. This is insane. But I like this. And I forgot that Sephiroth is a left-handed swordsman. At least he and I have something in common. So he's kind of like Link. At least how Link used to be. Until they switch him right-handed again for some reason. And this should just slide in right here. There we go, yeah. Now, how easily can you like rest your wrist while holding the sword? Because the sword itself isn't very heavy. So it's not going to like ruin his wrist, I don't think. Kind of like a Cloud, where if you like get a giant sword like that, it's gonna mess with the movement. Look at that. That looks great. Oh, and these cuffs are attached to the butterfly joint. I like that. Good on you, Square. I'll give you that. And he's got some weird shading on his boots. I don't know what's up with that, but that's okay. And when it comes to accessories, all you get is these hands and a sword. No swappable face, nothing really. It's just that smile. To be fair, the smile would probably be the only thing that I personally use, but kind of wish we had a little bit more variety, especially for paying, how expensive is this figure? What, 130 bucks or more? And again, I wish the hair would be able to move, because like you'd be able to get that kind of movement in like the Play Arts Kai figures. But looking at him, like, I mean, does he make a good Smash display? Let's find out, because we gotta compare him with some other figures. First up, we got our boy Cloud. And I'm not sure how good that looks scaling wise, but that looks pretty good to me. A lot of my other figures are already like pre-posed, so I'm not gonna mix their poses up just to like scale well. You gotta work with me. So we got a very dusty SH Figuarts Mario. I think that scales half decently well. You know, he kind of pretty much slaughtered him in the trailer, so ironic. But that looks good to me. Then we got one of my mains, Lucina, and yeah, I think they look really good next to each other. I think these would look great in a Smash display. Next up, we got a very dusty Samus. Both the Lucina and Samus are from Figma, by the way. But yeah, that pair's great. So let's try some more cartoony characters. Like we have a Kirby right here. Kirby got a sword. He's ready to fight. This one's Nendoroid, by the way. This is a great figure. I love this thing. Or we got the SH Figuarts Pac-Man. Or we got the Nendoroid Sonic with some soap shoes on him. So scaling is not too correct because it adds a little bit of height to him. But the point is, like, he looks good. They all look good next to Sephiroth. I have a few other ones to compare it to. Like we have the SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. We got the one of way too many SH Figuarts Naruto. Or if we want to stay within Square, we also have the SH Figuarts Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2. Or Bring Arts Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3. Funny enough, there's like no Square characters in Kingdom Hearts 3, but okay. And for laughs, here's the amiibo. Which, funny enough, I actually might pose Sephiroth in a similar pose like this. Which, speaking of, it would have been nice to have like a side eye or something like that. But oh well, it is what it is. How I feel about this figure is pretty much the same how I feel with all Bring Arts figures to begin with. I think he looks great. I think that if you're going for a Smash display, this is a beautiful Sephiroth figure and it's gonna scale really well and look really good. But when it comes to playing with him, he is gonna be a bit delicate, so I'd be careful with him. Like, for some reason, this ball hinge right here is like completely sideways, and you gotta like really manipulate it to like fix it so like you could like make it go more outwards. And of course, me trying to fix it just took his head off. There we go. That makes my job a little easier. So the two outer ones are on hinges. The middle one is just flexible. And I'm happy that, like, he's not really hindered all that much when it comes to his arm movement, at least when it comes to going outwards. However, if you want to make him go across his chest, that's not happening. But I feel like for poses I would do with Sephiroth, I don't think I need it to go across his chest, so that's fine for me. I don't care. But let's pretend I didn't import this figure myself, because you do save quite a bit of money from importing it yourself. Let's pretend I'm about to go on the Square Enix store, or Big Bad Toy Store, something like that, and see how much this figure's supposed to be. How much is it? Okay, so at most, I see him for about 130 bucks. Is he worth it for that price? I like this figure. I think he's really cool. But $130 for this, you would want a lot more, like changing faces, being able to move the hair, having not so delicate joints for these figures. And when it comes to the hands, like, you got these like very gripping hands, or I don't know, angry gripping hands. You'd think he'd like have a face where he looks like he's going mad to match these hands, but no. And then we have some other types of gripping hands, so it's more at an angle too, so at least that's good. For example, like this hand I'm having right here, that's just a straight out hand. Now what happens when I swap this out with a more angled hand? I think that would probably look a lot better. So let's slip that in here. He does have a good grip. It's scary, like, because I'm afraid of snapping it, but he's got a good grip. But yeah, I mean, he looks good. He looks really good, and he takes up a lot of shelf space because of his sword alone. I feel like if he was closer to like 80 bucks, and then sure, he's worth it. And you could probably find him for 80 bucks or 90 closer to like on a Japanese website if you import stuff yourself. Then you gotta pay a lot of shipping. So I feel like if you're buying other figures on top of Sephiroth, then yeah, import them from a Japanese site just so you can save on shipping. And also save on the figure itself. Do I recommend them for your Smash shelf? Absolutely. If you're going for a Smash display, this is absolutely necessary. I think he's absolutely worth it for that. Is he the best looking Sephiroth figure? Arguably, yeah, I think so. Because again, look at that face. Like, I'm a huge fan of the original artwork when it comes to Final Fantasy VII. Mainly because it's like watercolors and I'm just a fanboy for that because I'm a boomer. But when it comes to faces for Sephiroth, I feel like this is one of the best faces made on a Sephiroth figure. So it's hard for me to like say don't buy this figure because he's so expensive. He looks really good, so like it doesn't justify the price, but like it's hard to pass on this. Because this is not one of those figures that you sit on and wait for it to go down. This is going to be one of those figures that is going to sell out relatively quickly. And I think it already has at one point, and it's going for another wave for a pre-order. So pre-orders are probably up everywhere right now. So I like it. I actually really like this whole line for Final Fantasy VII to begin with, to be honest. So it's hard for me to say no. If for some reason you do find this on sale somewhere, then sure, go for it. But personally, I recommend just importing it and buy other figures on top of that to make it worth it. But buying this thing for $130 plus possible shipping, it's tough, man. It's really tough. But that's all I gotta say about him. He's beautiful. I mean, he's Sephiroth. He's always gonna be beautiful. But that's all I gotta show off. So if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description is gonna be my social media. And I also didn't pull out Link figures, but I'm also running low on time on the camera. So I do gotta go. Thank you for watching. I love you guys to death. Links will be in the description on where you can order this figure as well. And thank you for watching. I love you guys to death. And I'll see you on the next one. So peace, peace.